Detangling your hair weekly means that you are exposing your hair to breakage every single week. Hey, it's Pamela Naturals and welcome back to another video. In this video, I am going to share my personal top 3 tips for growing longer, healthier hair. These are not just any tips, they're very specific to my own journey and what I've learned over the years of what really works for growing or retaining length for 4C natural hair. So if you're interested, keep watching. The ends of your hair are so fragile, they're the oldest, they need a lot of moisture and they need care as well. So I have found that if I don't take care of my ends, I generally don't see the length of my hair, and I'll go into specifics about what exactly about the ends of your hair determine how much length you retain. The first thing is moisture. So if you moisturize your hair, you're pretty much putting moisture and also sealing in that moisture. It's super important so your ends remain strong, supple and healthy. Trimming your ends. A lot of people run away from trimming, but if you don't trim your ends, single strand knots build up, breakage becomes a nightmare, and also you just don't enjoy your hair as much if it has lots and lots of single strand knots at the ends. Another thing is split ends. If split ends start at the ends of your hair, you want to snip them off as soon as possible, because if you don't do it early enough, the split end will continue along the shaft of the hair, and before you know it, the entire hair is affected and you won't see your hair, your full potential length of hair, if that is your goal, because you will have to be cutting your hair or the hair will be breaking out on its own before it retains as much length. And I've noticed that if I don't stretch the ends of my hair out, I actually don't retain as much length, and I have to do many trims because it just tangles up and gets single strand knots, and before you know it, my hair is back to where it was last month. If you don't want to stretch your ends, or if the style does not allow for you to stretch your ends, another thing you can do is obviously use a lot of oils and butters towards the ends of your hair, but also twirl the hair. So if you're doing a twist, get into the habit of twirling the end of the hair, because there's power in groups. So if you group the hair, you don't have hairs, sort of playing around or flying around, ready to tangle with the other hairs that are flying around. It's sort of twirled and twisted in a cluster, so it becomes curly, and that way there's less chances of it becoming tangled and or getting single strand knots. So that's my number 1 tip when it comes to retaining your length or getting healthy hair. The next tip I'm going to share with you is minimizing detangling. Guys, I have to tell you, when I became natural, I used to watch all sorts of videos, people detangling their hair weekly, sometimes 2 times a week, combing it, pre-pooing, deep conditioning, co-washing, the list is endless of the number of things that you do. For type 4 hair, yeah, it doesn't like being detangled, I have to say. And I know people say you're using your fingers to detangle. Yes, you do minimize the breakage and the tangles, but you still have some to some degree. It's inevitable to have tangles and breakage in your hair, even if you're using your fingers. So the next question you're probably asking me is that, well, if I'm not detangling my hair on wash days, what am I doing? I have to wash my hair, some of the things that you have to do with washing your hair involve detangling, styling your hair, manipulating your hair. If you think about it, detangling your hair weekly means that you are exposing your hair to breakage every single week. And for some people it works. They've been able to achieve long lengths of hair, healthy hair. It works for them. But for myself, as a type 4 hair, I have to say it hasn't worked for me. Detangling my hair every week, of which it comes with the washing, hasn't worked. How I've managed to minimize my detangling? Well, you have to find a style that you are able to wash your hair, deep condition it without having to undo the style. Any style that you do that's going to allow you to access your hair, wash your hair deep condition it and style it or put it in a bun or whatever without having to detangle is a great style, and it's a great technique for 4C naturals to be able to retain length. And my absolute favorite style for being able to do this is twists. Not just any twists, mini twists. These twists are tiny little twists that I do, and they do take time when you do them initially. It's a huge, time investment and effort, but once I do them, they last months, sometimes 6 weeks, sometimes more. But mini twists allow me to wash my hair, deep condition my hair, and style it without having to detangle. So, case in point, if I do mini twists or micro twists today, I can wash my hair next week, the week after, and the week following after that one. But I don't have to detangle my hair, and I can keep my style and keep my hair without having to manipulate it, therefore reducing the amount of times my hair is exposed to breakage and tangles, therefore allowing it to retain more length. Having said that, every month, every 6 weeks or a couple of months, you will need to undo your hair and wash it and detangle it, because then if you don't detangle your hair for a long time and you keep washing it, then you start to create matting. So your hair will start to get matting, and it will start to look as though you're trying to make dreadlocks pretty much in your hair, and we don't want that. But you do, you might want to try it out and see how it works for your hair, because I have to say it has worked for me, because it really drastically reduces the number of times I have to detangle my hair and reducing breakage. So instead of detangling my hair 4 times in a month, I can do it maybe once in a month. So already there, I'm saving my hair a lot of stress, a lot of tangles, a lot of breakage, and therefore keeping it healthier and retaining longer hair, if that's your goal. So guys, this is all I had for you. I mean, if you really think about it, mini twists take some time. So you might think, oh, I don't want to do mini twists. But once you invest that time, you have months on end to not do anything with your hair, and you can actually maintain your look for a few weeks and even months if you don't mind a little bit of frizz here and there. And I might share videos in the future of how to minimize frizz and how to allow your twists to last a little bit longer, but this technique has worked for me. What techniques have you used to try and minimize the amount of time that you are detangling your hair? Pretty much low manipulation. I know other people sort of use cornrows, of which cornrows are great. If you can do cornrows and you're able to wash your hair and deep condition it in the cornrows, that's a great style as well, and it's going to help you reduce the number of times that you're detangling, because you're washing and deep conditioning your hair while it's in the cornrows. Braids are a great technique as well, a great style that you can do, because you're able to wash and deep condition your hair with those as well. And guys, by the way, all of these styles are done without any extensions. So I'm twisting my hair without extensions, you're cornering your hair without extensions, and it's braids without extensions. So it's just protective styles with your own hair, and it has to be like that, because if you add hair extensions, then it changes the whole dynamic, because it's harder to get to your hair in braids, and braids with extensions that are kept for long periods of time can cause breakage as well. So all these styles that I've spoken about in this video have to do with you being able to do styles with your own hair. Any questions, comment below. Any suggestions you want me to do with regards to natural hair or any other topics you're interested. Otherwise, see you next time.